And we're going to use some more of those spray painted painty papers. I will do my best. Oh, hey y'all. APG Jamie here. I'm happy you're here too. It hoots. I will put a link in the description box below, and in the upper right hand corner the link to that spray painted painty paper video. Okay? Alright, so we used, when we did that, excuse me y'all, when we did that, we used legal sized here in the US paper, just regular copy paper, which is 8.5 by 14. So that's what I'm using. I did single-sided, but I want them to be double-sided, so I'm going to take two pieces and glue them back to back, so I will end up with a double-sided paper that's about the weight of a lightweight cardstock. Yeah, that. So that's what I'm doing with the Yes paste. And I'm not sure if you're aware, but when you're using papers and they get wet and you squish them out, they will stretch because they're fibers. Well, unless you're using a mineral plastic paper, in which case that's way different. Okay. So I did that with the pages I had already picked out to use. Excuse me again, y'all. Sorry, I've got allergies and inner ear stuff going on again. I almost said crap, but I'm not going to say crap. Anyway, I cut my pages down to the size I wanted so that I actually got 2 folios from each 8.5 by 14 page. Okay, I don't remember the measurements. And I'm folding the folios in half, all right? And we will be putting together 2 folios into one signature. Y'all, terminology. It's a longer video, but you love me, so you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it too. So I'm rounding the corners. Oh, and I did cut out portions of the video, the repetitiveness of some of the stuff, such as rounding the corners, folding the folios, and a few of the other things. Okay, so what I did was I put the 2 sides facing each other, that matched. Okay, yeah, kind of thing. And now I'm trimming them because, as you may know, when you put one folio inside another folio to make a signature, they will, that extra 1/16 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch will make a difference on the edge. So your paper folios may be the same size, but when you nest them, there'll be the inside one will stick out slightly further. I didn't want that. Sometimes I'm okay with it, but today I didn't want it. So I'm trimming that off. All that just to say I'm trimming off the stuff that's sticking out. So I wanted a spine that was a little bit more heavy duty even than just cardstock, which is what I did with the other accordion folds. Oh, which I will try to link those videos as well, y'all. Anywhoots, I have some Tyvek, and to make it long enough, I glued a few pieces together, and then I painted it black on both sides, because after 2 days of not being able to decide what color I wanted my signature hinge binding, accordion binding doohickey thing, I decided, well, I'll just make it black, and that'll be that. That'll be that, y'all. So that's what I'm doing. That's a piece of cardstock. Now I had also, during those couple of days of deciding what color I wanted, thought, well, I'm just going to, oh, now my phone rang and just totally confused me. Well, maybe I'll think of that again. Oh, bless my heart. Oh my gosh, y'all. I decided I wanted a narrow accordion. Okay, narrow. So making my little thing that will slide our doohickey. Oh my gosh. Now we're having brain farting. Okay. So, yeah, an inch. Okay. We'll get to that. So, let this dry is the best practice. I don't always do the best practice, but I do like to make you aware of the best practice. So I have 4 signatures, and each one consists of 2 folios. So that makes, 4 pages, which makes 8 sides. Math, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know. Stop counting. I don't know. So, went in the middle, and then I went an inch on each side out. And you're going to need 2 tabs on each end. And hopefully they're all facing the same way. Okay. So I'm just burnishing the scores. And we're gonna accordion it up. Back and forth. Back and forth. And because I need 4, but there's only 3 mountains. Oh, there's 4 mountains on the other side. So we're going to use the other side because we need 4 mountains. And fortunately for me, the tabs came out the correct way. Now I have to remeasure the width, the height, whatever, of my accordion, because I had it written down, but who knows where it was written down. And now I'm getting out my signatures, and I want my, because we're going to cut a little split in the signature in the middle, okay? And I want it centered, so I'm setting up my little centering ruler with pieces of washi tape, so I don't have to keep rethinking about it, even though I do after this. Still think about it, y'all. Because you got to line the numbers up on either end. Each end. Now, this is on the center fold of the signature. Okay? And I'm measuring out for the height of the accordion, which is probably around 3 inches. I don't remember for sure, but it's probably around there. Now, as you see, I took out the inside folio because I'm just trimming, excuse me, trimming away the little folded area of the one page. And then we will measure and mark that. See how we have a split in there? Mm-hmm. And I use the scissors for this part because you're going to slide it over the accordion mountain. So you need a little space. I find it works best for me. You do what works for you. So we're trimming that away. And we're essentially trimming away a pencil line's width. Okay? So when you want to put them together, right? It's like, yep. They are lining up pretty okay good. Now this one, notice I have offset my ruler. And I mark it, and I'm like, wait, that looks funny. No, don't do that. Word of advice, if you use an ink pen, you can't erase it. Okay, so now, the more I worked on this, the fancier it kind of got. Okay, tab. It's a tab, y'all, that we're putting in there. A tab goes in the mountain part. And I was just going to make just a little tab. And then I thought, well, I'll just make a little, a tab, like a folder tab on the outside edge so it'll stick out. Because that'd be cute, right? And then I thought, oh, but wait, let's just make a full page tab with the folder tab on the outside edge. Okay, and that'll even be more cuter. And what I mean by that is more complicated. So I fiddled around with a couple templates. I finally came up with one that worked for me. So that's what I'm working on here. I have my template and I'm tracing around it, sort of, with a craft knife. And this is heavy cardstock. Now, excuse me, y'all. So see, there's my little folder tab, page tab. I don't know what you want to call it, because this insert thing is a tab of its own. See, that's going to slide into the mountain slot. And I'm going to need just a hair of a gap, again, because it's sliding in. And if you don't put a slight gap in it, oh, gosh, y'all, I'm just talking. If you don't put a slight gap there, it's all going to wrinkle and bubble and wonkiness around. You'll see when we get there. It don't make no sense. Don't make no sense at this moment, but it will, unless you've already done these kind of things, in which case you don't. See, there I'm practice sliding it in, and I'm like, yeah, you don't want this too loose, okay? So err on the side of tighter, because you can slightly trim as needed for each one, because each one's going to be slightly different, depending the thickness of the papers and the angles that things got folded and cut and all that stuff, okay? Now, I don't want my page tab, folder tab, to be all in the same place. So I'm just eyeball adjusting that as it felt, okay? So, yeah. It took me a day or two, guy, because it grew. For one thing, it grew, and then I'm like, well, how am I going to execute that? Because, you know, I make journals. I'm just not a bookmaker, if you know what I mean. I ain't no Nick the Book Smith, okay? Just let me say that straight up. Coffee. So I do this for 4 of them, because we have 4 signatures, and I need 4 slot tab. Las Vegas. Whee! Okay. You do want a sharp new blade on your craft knife. Just saying. You do want to be more carefuler, because it's a sharp blade, y'all. All right. How many do I show you? Just a couple? I don't know. Probably just a couple. Now, I'm like, well, what is our decoration mode going to be? And I thought, well, we'll go with gears, because steampunk gears, if you use gears, it's steampunk. Okay, no matter what it is, it's steampunk. And I thought, well, we'll do that. So I die cut a bunch of gears, okay? And now we're going to use some of that fancy Tim Holtz foundry wax on them. Now, what I did, okay, I'm not mixing it with alcohol per se, but it gets alcohol in it. You have to shake it up really good. I squirted a little, put a little alcohol. It's probably 91%, y'all, on my little craft mask. Then I put my little squirts of foundry wax. I'm using all 4 colors because I'm colorful like that. Well, never know what color metal I want. So anyway, I put it on there with a fan brush, so I can get crazy different, not a solid coverage, okay? And I had also put the alcohol on my brush before I used it on the foundry wax, because that's what I thought to do. I'm taking a picture, So I can kind of try to show you the difference between the unheated and the heated one, because that's how you make the color go ba-ding. But I didn't put the picture in the video, so I guess I could have cut that part out. Y'all know me. I'm always could have cut that out. Didn't. Anyway, so when you heat it up with a heat gun, it makes the foundry wax all nice and shiny, y'all. Okay, and the thicker it is, the more shinier it is. Just saying. So my silver one didn't have a ball in it, so I'm shaking and shaking and shaking, and it never did get no ball in it. I put a ball bearing in it because my husband happened to have a stainless steel ball bearing, so I put one in there. So it's got one in there now. Anyway, so that one piece there I'm going to put on the outside of the front cover. All right, and I'm just squishing, brushing over. It's really a dry brush, y'all. Even though it had the alcohol on it, it's still essentially dry brushing. Anyway, that will go on the outside of the cover. Did I say that already? Now we're into repeat. Yay, repeat. So, because I have 4 signatures, I put 4 of each gear shape. And that was the alcohol. And that's a different color. And as you saw, I put alcohol in the brush. And then I'm putting just because this stuff dries really really quick, and depending on the humidity in your area, it could dry more quicker. That's why I have the little puddle of alcohol there, so I can kind of mix it in there. And then I'm that's just a dry paint rag that I'm wiping the brush on. Okay. So doing it again with the last color. I think this is the last color, y'all. So I have 4 gears, 1 for each signature thing, and we'll get to that eventually. I don't know when, sooner or later. And I couldn't get the dried wax that I'd hit with the heat gun to come off my craft mat very well. So, fair warning. I know it came off Tim's glass mat really well. So now we're heating up our cover decoration, and it's kind of like the magic of heat embossing. When you put the heat gun on the embossing powder and it changes color and shiny, and it's like magic. Well, it's kind of like that, y'all. So now we're working on the cover, and I have faux chipboard, aka food packaging box, such as crackers, cheesy crackers. Okay, and I've already cut them down to size, and by down to sizes I mean larger than my tab signature page. That has the little folded tabs on the outside of the page. Oh my gosh, y'all, terminology. Anyway, now I'm using mono printed paper. Okay, don't remember when I did it, but I thought, well, I like this one for the outside. I had some of the spray painted paper or cardstock even I could have used, but I like the mono paper, and I'm like, that's what I'm gonna use. So that's what we're gonna use. And we're using the Yes paste again. This stuff is gooey, y'all. It's nice, but it's gooey. So keep either a damp painty rag around there to wipe your goopy fingers on, or baby wipe, okay? And we're just rolling it with the roller, burnishing it down so it all gets nice and married, and there's no air bubbles under there. Excuse me. Then we set that aside, and we're going to pretend like it dried for a while. Actually, in this case, it probably did dry for a while. Lunchtime dry. So I'm going to trim out the corners. I don't get overly close to the corner. Excuse me. Y'all so tired of that. I know I am. Anyway, so I'm pre-folding because this is cardstock. Did I mention it was it's mono printed cardstock, y'all. And I'm just pre-folding it. guy for a long time. And then we will get our paste. Oh, we're going to go ahead and do the other one while we're at it, because assembly line. We're going to show you all that too. No wonder this is a long video. Longish. You'll know when to speed up. Whenever you need to. Oh, you can slow it down too, probably, depending on your device, y'all. If you need to watch something a little closer to real speed. Anyway. Getting our yes paste back out. And I'm just putting it on the cardstock side. And just doing that. And I kept putting my plastic key cards in my water bucket, you know, sticky yes paste on there. So I kept having to get out new ones. Well, not new. Well, they're not new, but they're not sticky either. So now we're going to fold it over. And this is just some picker-upper thing that you can slide under stuff and pick it up. Spatula doohickey. And I'm using that to flatten it out. For some reason, I thought that would be good. And it worked. And then I took the edge of it instead of fingernail to push it in at the corners. And that worked really well. So hopefully I'll remember that for the times when I don't have fingernails to do that trick with. And because it is cardstock and I did get it in there so well, I have these really sharp little edges that I'm just trimming off little tiny bit. You can't tell. Can't never did nothing tell. Okay? So I went ahead and evidently cut out the second one. Because, you know. Now I have already previously marked my covers for the inside top and backside top. And I thought, well, how am I going to close it? Well, let's use this here gold ribbon, because gold ribbon. So we're doing all this. And you're going to get to see me. I spray check, y'all, because this was fraying. This ribbon, it was fraying ribbon. And we're going to stick all this on our front and back cover, which you'll see. Okay. Eventually, we will get there and sped it up, maybe. Maybe not. So I cut the long piece in half, because I want half on the front and half on the back. Because we're going to have our accordion hinge on the spine side, naturally. So our closure only needs to be on the open foredge. I think it's called a foredge. Y'all, don't quote me on that. Again, I ain't no Nick the Big Smith, okay? Who I do recommend you watch, because she's pretty good. So, putting our ribbon on there and lining it up. Yep, it's lining up pretty good. You know, because eyeballing's the way to do it. And I thought, well, I want to put a little piece of paper on there. Just kind of help hold that on there. Just a little kind of help. Just a little help. Okay? Okay. So that's what we're doing. And we're smooshing that around. And then I went in the house for the night. It's like, it's time to go home. So I quit working for the day. Well, almost quit working. This is about where I quit working. Oh, no, not yet. Oh, bless my heart, y'all. We're going to put our tabs in there. If we're going to quit, we might as well put our tabs in there so it can all drop overnight. Okay? So here's our accordion side with our 4 mountains pointing towards the inside. Okay? We want them pointing up because they're mountains. With 3 valleys and 4 mountains and 2 tabs. Okay? So, that's what we're doing. Bless my heart. It's almost going to be quitting time. But don't go anywhere because there's plenty more video to go around. I'm cleaning up as I go because I'm telling you, yes paste is gooey, sticky stuff. So, and nobody measured, so we're just eyeballing it. And I'm like, oh, I should have measured first. Now it's all gooey, so I can't measure. So is their signature fit in there okay? Because you want it centered so that you have more or less the same reveal on your cover at the top, the bottom, and the open edge side, okay? And then you want your accordion spine piece to line up even with the side. This is how I do it. Is that how it is supposed to be done? It's probably close. And I keep checking it and keep checking it. And I'm like, yeah, I think that's the same. I think it's the same. Smoosh it down. Try to get rid of extra yes paste that smooshes out. All that. And then eventually I'm like, well, I got to get in the house because somebody's got to fix some dental. And I think it was my turn. I don't know. I'm still here. Oh, getting clamps. So I want to clamp the tabbage. Okay. So we're doing this. And the previous accordion hinge spines that I did, also known as a reverse hinge. Okay. Like I might have said, I'm going to try to link to that video that is a single video that includes 3 different variations, sort of. Anyway, I decided I did not. This is the next day, y'all. I had my dinner and had my sleep, and well, if you call it sleep, I don't sleep so well. Anyway, I thought, well, why am I using soft gold ribbon if I've got a gear steampunky thing going on? We need to use a metal closure. So I'm like, okay, we can do that. Bless my heart. So here I'm labeling the front and back and the top side for our piece that covers the inside where it's not so attractive. But first, I want to put my closure pieces on there. On account of they're going to have brad prongs, and I want to cover those up. Okay? Sometimes you got to like pre-think ahead, and it can be an issue. So that's what I'm doing. Now I'm centering-ish. Because I'm like, yeah, I've got that thing. That is not the Tim Holtz brand. That is a different one off of Amazon. And I think this one is actually a bit bigger than the Tim Holtz ones. Okay? Couldn't get the Tim Holtz ones. So I got the one off Amazon, which is fine. It's just bigger. That's all. I've had them for a while. I think I've used some before. Anyway, don't know different mind. Doesn't matter. So we're going to be poking holes, one in front, one in the back. Okay? Forget the ribbon, y'all. We're not using the ribbon. We've moved on. Okay, here's the back chain with the little lobster claw hooky thing, and I found a brad that looks like a screw head. Y'all remember those? Anyway, that's what we're using there. It's playing out the little arms, turning my little chain because it's a lobster claw on a chain. And here's the front thing. This is that drawer pull. I don't know what they're called, y'all. And I thought, oh wait, I might need to put my decorated piece on the front first, which I thought, yeah, I do. And I'm like, well, how am I going to glue that on there? Xyron to the rescue. So I have a Xyron. This piece is actually a little too big to go through the Xyron. So it got a little folded up, a little folded. Okay, you'll see when it comes out the other side. I'm like, oh well. It'd be all right. I'll make it work. Whatever, it'd be okay. You just gotta be careful when you're tearing it off. You don't want to tear your other piece off. I'm like, well, that's pretty good. So I don't know if you're familiar with Xyrons, but they apply the sticky part to the back. Okay, In which case, if you have openness, like I do with the gears, you will sometimes have sticky stuff in there. So I was just using my finger to rub the sticky stuff away, because it rubs away. And some of the areas did not get sticky stuff on there, so we are going to use our art glitter glue. And look at this. How fun is that, y'all? This is our front cover. We don't decorate the back cover. Don't know never. Even though you could if you wanted to. And I had cut 2 pieces. I just wasn't sure I was going to use 2 pieces. And I decided, yes, I love it. So now we're going to have to run that one through the Xyron. And we'll do the same thing. You know, it's going to crinkle winkle up that one little gear. Excuse me. Been a minute since we did that. And we'll do the same thing. We will straighten it out, put glue where we need glue, and rub away the sticky stuff with our fingers. And then we will go into another scene where we are sticking that on the top part of our cover. Just the outside front, y'all. Okay. And we're just taking our dry rag over there and smooshing around. I don't know. Now we can put our drawer pull thingy on there. Okay. Is that how I want it? Maybe not quite how I want it, but I'm going to bend it around. Okay. I'm going to trim off the side, and then I'm like, well, it's not going the way I want it to. So I end up bending it around, and you got to manhandle this. Sometimes you got to manhandle some of this stuff, y'all. Now, fortunately for me, this was a pretty strong piece of whatever kind of metal it was. Okay. So I got that. And I'm like, yep, that fastens pretty good. Well, I got to get fastened first. So see, we have plenty of room. Now, the accordion hinges allow you some freedom of expanse. Okay, not always and not necessarily totally. But because I knew I would need it, that's why I put the Tyvek on there. That and opening and closing and all that kind of stuff will wear on a spine, and Tyvek is pretty good substitute for fabric. You could always use it fabric too, but I used it to Tyvek, which is a brand name. I'm sure there's other names. Anyway, so this is going to be the inside mono printed card that's going to cover up all the icky stuff on the inside of our cover. Now that we have our brads in there, everything's in place, we can cover it all up. So it'll be nice and pretty, y'all. Look, it's going to be nice and pretty. Now, I saw someone who had miscut their corners slightly on their inside cover piece, and they ended up going and making triangles, you know, like photo corners, of sorts, and they covered up the unattractive corners with their corner pieces. And it's like, well, that was a perfect solution, and it looks good. You could do that even if you didn't need to salute it. So there we go. It was important to see this part, even though it's like 20 million sped up. So there we go. Now, it is hard to smoosh it down and make sure you don't have any air bubbles when you have the metal pieces, because they're both brads. There's a brad on the front and a brad on the back. Okay, brads back to back. It's hard to make sure you get all your little air pockets out, but you do need to try. And I thought, well, I need to put some little clamps around that because it keeps wanting to pop up. So, here we are. Is it the next day again? I don't know. And I thought, well, I want that edge to be pretty, and I wanted to wrap wire around it, but I thought, I don't want to mess with wrapping wire around it. So I thought I'd put thread on it, and then the thread broke. And I'm like, well, this isn't fun. I want that edge to be gold. So we have a pin, so we just ran over it with the pin. And I thought, well, let's do it on the inside too, because, yeah, gold. Y'all. That's what we're doing. Then you have to wait for that to dry. And while that was drying, I thought, well, let's take this other gear die I have. It's a on the edge gear thingy. And so I cut whatever my depth is there and die cut it, and then I trimmed off like 2 gears, I think it was. I thought that's gonna make a perfect pocket. And because I like pockets that have slight expanding, I folded over the edges so that it will expand slightly on the edge, but I did not fold over the bottom, so the bottom will remain tight-ish to the cover. Okay, trimmed out the corners because that's excess. You don't need that. And now we're just going to put a bead of glue, and because this is heavy cardstock and we're sticking it onto a surface that is slightly textured, I am using my Aleene's Original Tacky Glue, my favorite. So there we go, just smooshing it out a little bit. Well, yeah, wiping the glue on my background there. Now I gotta line up this side and then line up that side and make sure the other sides are tucked in and lined it up. And then I got the issue of that one gear on the outside trying to stick out, which I think I trimmed that up. I don't even know if I show you that part, but I might. Never know. Don't never know. Just watch. Just watch and see. So we're going to clamp out all up. Clamp it. Ellie Mae passed away, y'all, back in late April. Anyway, bless her heart. Cannot think of her first name, but her last name was Douglas. God bless her. So now it's time to put our signatures onto our mountains. Now, I did not film that part, but I sewed around the signatures. Each folio, I sewed around the folio. And then I layered the 2 folios together to make a signature. And here comes our tab page. It slides into the mountain. This is what holds your signature in the book. They are removable. Not necessarily easily to remove, but they're removable because I slide them in, and then I will decorate the mountain with the gears that we already put foundry wax on. Okay, this is why I say, you know, don't overly cut, because you may have to trim for each one, because it's each one will slightly be different. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. Because you want it to slide in there, but you want it to be not too loose. So we got that in there. That's our tabbed tab. Now we're going to put a gear, and we're putting it on the mountain. We are not gluing it to the tab page. We're gluing it only to the mountain. Okay? This way the tab page can come out, and then you can wiggle around and get your signatures out. Now granted, it would be problematic, but it could be done. And I have all these loose threads, so I'm like, well, I'm just going to tie them and cut them off because they're bothering me. So I got almost all of them up in the same corner, except the last one, which could have been the first one I sewed on the machine. I don't remember. Anyway, don't notice it. Just ignore that part. So we're gluing on, because like I said, I'm only gluing to the mountainside, so I don't want my Xyron sticky all over everything. All right? And look at my fancy tweezer work, y'all. Fancy tweezer work. And I put 4 gears on here, and then I come back and put another 1 or 2 on there, because I'm like, well, you know, I got these extras, might as well use them. And I am just doing the one side of the tab. I am not doing both sides of the tab for whatever reason, which was probably a smart thing if they're going to be removed. Okay. Tying the strings, because it's important sometimes that you get to see me do the same thing. Repeat. Okay. We're getting there, y'all. We are getting there, and I so appreciate each and every one of you. Got comments, your likes, your shares. Have you subscribed lately? We have over 4,000. Oh, y'all, I couldn't have done any of this without you. I so appreciate you. Your valuable time, your support. Yeah. I love that you guys get inspired. You're like, oh, I can do that better than you, and you prove it. Makes me happy. Because sometimes creating makes you happy on the inside, and that makes me even more happy. Y'all. Anyway, it was important that you see me put more gears on. Kind of have to be careful, because I didn't want it sticking to the tab part of the cardstock. I just wanted it on the mountain part. Okay. So I'm like, oh. And this was not a quick one for me, y'all. It could have been quick, but no. I couldn't decide what color I wanted my hinge, and then I couldn't decide on this and that, and I piddled around, but I think it was worth it. So this one took me probably 3 days. Okay? I did not work on it constantly, because you have drying time. That's not filmed. Okay? But there's drying time. Oh, here's the flip. Yeah, here's the flip. Oh, I put a little book plate on the front and a little label. And that's the spine, and that's the back. That's our closure. Ta-da! That's just the old tag I had laying around. I thought, well, that'll look cute in there, so we just put that right there. See, it looks cute. And there we go. Our spray painted paper, our little tab page. I'm going to show you that it can come out. It's a little awkward. I do not show you me taking the signature out, because I thought, nope, not messing with it. Anyway. Oh, makes me happy. Happy. Showing you every page. There will be a photo montage, but I do not take a picture of every page. This is your last look at every page. Because I probably will never do anything with this journal. But I sure had fun and enjoyed making it and thinking about it. And I may make it seem like the process was awkward and stuff, which it kind of was. But I enjoyed that. Sometimes stress is good. Sometimes. You ready? Ta-da! Photo montage. Y'all. Makes me happy. This would be a good one to just go back and pet every now and again. Unless somebody wanted to buy it. Which I'm not opposed to. Anywho, I do appreciate each and every one of you. Your valuable time, your kind support of the channel, and your thumbs and shares and all that good stuff to help keep the algorithm going on the YouTubes. Gears. Steampunk. Thanks for watching, and happy art.